Today I'll be fishing on my local canal for some perch, pike and whatever else bites really. Up until this day I've never fished this stretch before. So I'm going to get this stinky mackerel casted out, thinking about casting it by that tree there. Just where I wanted it, I'll just take it, get it set up on the alarm. And what I'm also going to do, I've got my lure rod and I'm going to have a few casts under this bridge. Luckily I got that back. I might switch over to a micro lure in a bit, but for now I'm just going to try and search them out with this little crankbait. I think I'm on. No, I've got a stick. Okay, so I'm just going to have a few casts along this stretch. The bridge was just full of snags. I just need to be careful because there's a power line over there. So I'll try not to cast over there. Okay, so a pike has literally just jumped out over there. So Charlie's going to recast his rod on top of him, see if we can get him. And meanwhile, I'm just going to leave mine there. Perfect. Alright, so I'm back over here where all the snags are. But I think if I walk down a tiny bit more, I should be able to avoid them. So there's a pike really active in our swim. All we're waiting for is a few indications. And there seems to be a few bubbles. There's currently loads of bubbles sort of just there. But that's right next to Charlie's bait. So hopefully he gets one. I'm going to switch over to a float rig with a tiny little float. But I reckon I might get a few roach because I've been seeing a few roach around here. So if I can catch some roach, because we found some worms and stuff. So if we can catch some roach, that'd make a good live bait, I'd say. Like a small one. So I'm going to get a small size 16 hook. And I'm going to put some split shots on it. I'm going to use a tiny little float to get this all set up. Alright, so I've got the hook attached. I'm just going to get a split shot. I'm going to try it with one to start off with because usually I'll use two, but I would reckon I'd only need one with such a small float. Should be good. And then we'll attach our float. I've actually got a secret way of attaching the float, but it's not really secret, it's just a really good method. So you fold the line in half, just like that, and then you're going to thread it through the hole in the float, just like so, and then you get this little loop, pull it over the float, then you pull it now, so you can slide that up and down, and it will stay put. So that is actually a very good little float method technique. So I'm just going to test the depth. Alright, so the depth is set. Now I've just got to put a nice worm on it. So I've got the worms on. I've actually put another split shot on because it wasn't heavy enough. Been here about like 20 minutes I'd say, maybe half an hour. So I might give my pike on a recast. I'm just going to leave that there. Alright guys, so I've just landed this perch. Literally just saw my rod getting pulled in. Alright, let's get this guy unhooked. It's a nice little perch he is. I'd say he's pushing a pound maybe. Alright, there we go. We've caught our first perch of 2026. Let's go. Hopefully we get another one, because usually when there's one, there's more. Alright, so that's recasted out now. Hopefully we see my rod get pulled in another time. But yeah, that was like an instant bite. My float keeps drifting over there. I'll put it there. But hopefully this is like where the shoal of perch is. Because when there's one, there's more. And we've got the perch in there right now. Do you reckon we should have a better look at him on the camera? Or... That is 1.8 lock. So it's getting back. It's pretty nice. 1. So that was 0.8 pound. So that was nearing a pound. So that's pretty decent. I'm gonna recast this, make sure we still got our bait. Yep. Right next to my pike rod. I was literally gonna recast my pike rod as I got that bite. So I'll leave that there. That's where I got the perch last time. I'm gonna recast my pike rod. That's roughly where I've been casting it this whole time. So, okay, so the shoal of fish have actually moved on away from the swim. I think catching that fish scared them off. So what I'm actually going to do, I did have it in front of me and then I moved it like in the middle. But I was thinking it might be worth putting it under the bridge because that's probably where they are. So a big fish has just came up over there. I reckon it's either a carp or a pike. But I was actually going to bring a carp rod today. So I'll probably be down here next week anyways. If we're not getting anything on the dead bait, I'll probably bring either 2 float or 1 float, 1 carp. Alright guys, there's a fish right next to my pike float, so hopefully it's a pike or a zander that wants to eat my bait. Worm has come off, so I've found some more worms. I've put 3 on, but they're only tiny. I'm just going to plonk it in there, see if I can get the fish. I've packed away the non-essentials, so I've only got the essentials out because I'm only going to be here another 10 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to move my float rod just under the bridge for the last 5 minutes or so. Just like so. Oh. I might not. Right, so let's release this perch we caught at the start. Yeah, it's a decent one. Just trying to swallow my finger. There we go. Make sure to turn the notifications on so you know whenever I've posted. And yeah, just thank you for watching the video. See you later.